Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are doing very well. So, what we are going to start in today's session, as you can see on our screen, we are going to study about forest and wildlife. In this chapter, we are going to see there are many different kinds of forests present in our country, India, and we have variety of wildlife which is present in our country, India. So, what are the types of forest? Forest, deciduous, mangrove, all these types of forest we are going to discuss in this chapter. So come with me and start the chapter. Forests and woodlands are habitat dominated by trees. Wildlife traditionally refers to non-domesticated animal species. So you can see here, my dear students, forest and woodlands. Okay, these are basically dominated by trees. Okay, in forest, what we see? Trees. Okay, and what is the meaning of wildlife? Wildlife means they are basically dominated by animal species, means wild animal species. Now, what is the meaning of forest? Let's have a look. India is quite rich in forest. Forests are our natural wealth and are important resources. See, what is the meaning of forest? As you all know, our country India, it is quite rich in forest. Okay, it is very rich. India has very rich resources of forest. Okay, forests are also our natural wealth. Okay, forests act as our natural wealth and it is very important resources for ourselves. Okay, it takes hundred of years for the trees to grow dense and form a forest. Trees, scrubs, creepers and many other smaller plants which grow wild or on their own are called natural vegetation. So you know what? See, the growth of forest, okay, it takes hundreds of years. Okay, it takes hundred of years to trees to attain their actual height and convert that area into a forest. So the formation of forest or the growth of forest is not like it is grow within a year. No, it is not like that. It takes hundred of year. Now trees, scrubs, creepers. What is the meaning of creepers? You have seen some trees crawl on the floor. Okay, so that crawling trees are known as creepers and many other smaller plants which grow wild. Okay, and many other species which grow wild, all those combinedly formed our natural vegetation or simply we called forest. Okay, now why is forest important for ourselves? What is the importance of forest? Why we need forest? Let's have a look. See, forests are very important and useful to us. They provide timber, gum, resin, lac, cane, medicinal herbs, firewood, and many other useful things. See, our forests are very important and useful to us. Okay, now in what way they are useful to us and why they are important? Because through forest we got a lot of things like, first of all, our medicinal herbs. Okay, there are many plants or many trees present in forest area which act as medicine. Okay, and after that, for lighting a fire we also cut trees from the forest. We get timber. Timber is the most important tree used for making our own furnitures. Then gum, resin, lac, cane. Okay, all these things we get from our forest area. Timber is one of the most important product of the forest and is used for making furniture, building houses, doors and window. As I already told you, timber is the most important tree which we get from our forest area. Why? Because using timber we can make different type of furnitures. We also build our house, doors and windows. Now wood pulp is used in making paper. As you all know, paper, a sheet of paper is made up of wood. Okay, but can you imagine how a hard tree converted into a single soft page, because pages and papers are made from wood pulp. Okay, forest plays an important role in soil preservation as the trees help to check soil erosion. In our previous chapter we read about soil erosion and how we can prevent our soil erosions. Then forests help us in soil erosion because tree hold soil in their roots. Forest keeps the air clean. Now, forests also play a very important role in cleaning our environment. Forests keep the climate cool and pleasant. And you know what? a area having a large number of forests is comparatively very cool. Okay, comparatively very cool in comparison of those areas which have a very less amount of forest. Like you can compare the national highways. Okay, on national highways you can feel so much warm because there are no trees are present. But on the other hand, if you are going on a road, okay, if you are going on a road which crosses the villages, you can feel cool in comparison of that national highways, because the roads of the villages still today in our country India have a lot of trees. Forest trees help to bring more rainfall. Okay, and now forests also contribute in bringing rainfall. So, my dear student, this is all about the meaning of forest and why forest is important for us. Now, we are going to see how many types of forest existed in our country, India. Let's have a look. We can divide Indian forest into five types. Basically, there are five types of forest present in Indian subcontinent. Let's have a look. The first and most important forest is evergreen forest. Okay, this is the most important forest which is present in our country is evergreen forest. Now, what is the meaning of evergreen? Evergreen forest means this type of forest throughout the whole year covered with trees. Let's have a look. See, this forest grow in areas which receive heavy rainfall throughout the year and have high temperature. Okay, evergreen forest grows in those areas which receive maximum rainfall throughout the year. Okay, and they have very high temperature. Such forests appear green throughout the year. Now, such kind of forest appear green throughout the year, means they covered in greenery throughout the year. Now, in which areas of India we can find evergreen forest? We find evergreen forest in Western Ghats, in the Kerala. See, Western Ghats in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Maharashtra. So in the Western Ghats which is present in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Maharashtra. So here we find this type of forest, and apart from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Maharashtra, we also find evergreen forest in the hilly areas of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Tripura and West Bengal. Okay. The wood is hard and expensive. The important trees are ebony, rosewood, mahogany, sandalwood, kher and bamboo. Okay, so this is your example of evergreen forest. See, covered with greenery throughout the year. Okay, but now my dear students, here question arises: why evergreen forest found only those areas, not in Jammu and Kashmir, not in Uttar Pradesh? Why? Because you can see the areas which I mentioned right now: Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Tripura, West Bengal. All these states are those Indian states which receive maximum rainfall. Okay, which receives maximum rainfall throughout the year. That's why this type of forest is present in these states. Okay, and you know what? The wood, okay, the wood from this evergreen forest are very hard and very expensive. Now, what type of forest, what type of wood we get from this forest? Like your ebony, okay, rosewood, sandalwood, mahogany, kher and bamboo. These are the common trees which we obtain from evergreen forest. After evergreen forest, we are going to discuss about deciduous forest. Now, what is the meaning of deciduous forest? Let's have a look. See, deciduous forests are also called monsoon forest. So, another name of deciduous forest is your monsoon forest. Deciduous trees have broad leaves which are shed during summers. And you know what? There's a unique quality about deciduous forest. The trees which present in deciduous forest, they have broad leaves. Okay, means the size of leaf is broad, and usually in the summertime they shed their they shed their leaves. New leaves grow during the monsoon season. And why they shed their leaves during the summer season? Because after summer season, when monsoon seasons come, new leaves start growing. These forests are mostly found in the Deccan Plateau and the foothills of the Himalayan mountains. Now, in which area of India we find deciduous forest? We find the deciduous forest in the foothills of Himalayas as well as our Deccan Plateau. The main states where these forests are found, so the main states where deciduous forests are found is your Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Now, in these states, we find deciduous forest. Now, what is the main type of tree we get from deciduous forest? Let's have a look. Teak, sal, and shisham are the most common trees. They are very useful in making furnitures. Now, teak, sal, and shisham. These are the trees which we commonly found in deciduous forest, and they are the most important trees in making furnitures. Okay, you know what? The furnitures which made from shisham tree are very costly. And why they are costly? Because they last very longer time. Okay, after deciduous forest, we are going to see about the third type of forest which we find in Indian subcontinent is thorny forest. I hope the name suggests you. Okay, but this is your deciduous forest. Okay, you can see there is a difference between evergreen forest and deciduous forest. Evergreen forest is covered with greenery all over the area. In deciduous forest we can find some space, you can see here. Okay, now the third type of our forest is our thorny forest. As the name suggests, thorny means thorn, means they are going to find in maybe hilly areas or in maybe desert areas. So let's have a look. These forests are found in areas where rainfall is scanty. Now, thorny forests predominantly found in those areas where rainfall are very less in amount. Means there is a scarcity of rainfall. Like northwestern part of the Great Indian Desert and the parts of Deccan Plateau have dry thorny forest. Now, in which areas we get thorny forest? The northeastern part of our Great Thar Desert and some parts of our Deccan Plateau. Trees have thick barks and long roots, and there is an undercover of thorny bushes. Kikar, babool, and date palm trees are found in such trees. Now, in this forest, means in thorny forest, trees have a very long roots. Okay, means they have a very long roots and their barks are very thick. And why they have long roots? Because they have to store water for longer duration of time. Because you know, in desert areas and in some parts of Deccan Plateau of our country, there is a scarcity of water. That's why the trees have a very thick bark and as well as long roots. And what is the most common trees we find in those areas? Kikar, babool, and date palm. After thorny forest comes a turn of tidal forest. Now, what is the meaning of tidal forest? Okay, let's have a look here, my dear students. See, tidal forest. These forests are found near the coast where the land is flooded by seawater. These are also called mangrove forest. Sundari is the common tree growing in the Ganga Brahmaputra delta in West Bengal. This stretch of mangrove forest is popularly known as Sundarbans. Now, what is the meaning of tidal forest? Tidal forests are basically, as the name suggests, tidal means tide. Okay, so tides, where tides from? In sea or oceans. So similarly, these forests are most commonly found near the coastal areas of India. Okay, and these forests are flooded with seawater. That's why these forests are also called as mangrove forest. Okay, now which is the most common tree we find here is your Sundari tree. Okay, and Sundari tree grown in Ganga Brahmaputra delta area. Okay, and this stretch of mangrove forest, and you know what? This stretch of mangrove forest means the area which this mangrove forest covered is called as our Sundarbans. Okay, and Sundarban is famous for our Royal Bengal tigers. So, my dear student, here is the picture of your thorny forest and here is your picture of tidal forest. Okay. Now, after tidal forest comes a turn of mountain forest, or in simple terms, coniferous forest. Let's have a look. See, the Himalayan region have belts of different kinds of forest depending on the rainfall and the height of the region. You know what? You all know, my dear students, that Himalaya has a great height. So, but it is not important that the tree which we find at the tip, at the highest peak of the Himalaya, same forest, same type of tree we can find at the foothills of the Himalayas. No, this is not possible, or this is not compulsory. Okay, that in those areas similar forests or similar trees are grown. And why? Because there's a temperature difference between these two regions. Although in combinedly there's a very cold, these are the very cold areas, but there's a temperature difference. How? At the highest peak of mountain there is the most, means you can imagine there is a freezing zone. Okay, but on the foothills of the Himalayas there may be less freezing zone temperature. Okay, so And in Himalayas, if the top means the highest peak of Himalaya receives, for example, 300 mm of rainfall, okay, then it is not compulsory that the foothills, a foothill area of Himalaya also receive 300 mm water of rainfall. It may be received 200 or 250 mm. Okay, so depending upon all the situations, trees are grown here in different categories. Let's have a look. On the higher mountain slope, these are forests of coniferous trees. So on the higher region of the mountain, these forests are called as coniferous trees. These trees grow in cold climate. And you know what? Coniferous trees, for the growth of coniferous trees, we need a cold weather. Such trees have needle-shaped thick leaves and bear cones. You can see, my dear student, in this picture, coniferous trees have a very long, means needle-like, okay, needle-like shape. You can see this is, okay, you can see they have a very long needle-like shape, okay. Now, the coniferous forests are found in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. The most common trees found in these forests are cheer, oak, devdar, spruce, and fir. Okay, now coniferous forest trees, basically, I hope clear to you all, found in our mountain regions like your Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Okay, and the most common trees which we find in coniferous trees are your chick, oak, devdar, spruce, and fir. Okay, so my dear student, this is all about our Indian forest. So here is a map of India, and you can see a very colorful map. Okay, so let's discuss what all those color indicate, which type of forest. So I hope you know green color means evergreen forest. So the green color showed evergreen forest. Okay, green color showed evergreen forest. Now the yellow color showed your deciduous forest. Okay, now the light blue color showed your thorny forest found in those areas. Now the magenta color shows your tidal forest. Okay, tidal forest you can see here. These are present in our the coastal areas. Here you can see coastal areas. Now the orange color shows your mountain forest. Okay, so this is your mountain forest. Okay, so all this about our forest areas. Now we discussed that how many types of forest are found in India. Now we are going to discuss about the conservation of forest, why we need to conserve our forest. A country should have about one third of its area under forest. India has less than one fourth of total area under forest. Therefore, it is very important to conserve forest and plant more tree and slow down the cutting of trees. You know what? For any country of the world, it is compulsory to maintain their one third portion of land area under forest. But you know what? Unfortunately, India only have less than one fourth of land area under forest. That's why we need to plant more trees, okay, to stop deforestation. Keeping in view that forests are essential for us, people all over the country have stopped unnecessary and careless cutting of trees. Slowly, when people recognize that we need to preserve our forest, then the unnecessary cutting of trees are slowed down. The famous Chipko movement in Uttarakhand proved it. So the conservation of forest, Chipko movement done by Uttarakhand people, it is the landmark in the area of conservation of forest. This movement was started in 1974 by Sundar Lal Bahuguna. Now, who started Chipko movement? Chipko movement is started in 1974 by a person named as Sundar Lal Bahuguna. People supporting this movement embraces tree and cling to them to stop them from being cut down by the woodcutters. Now, how they preserve their forest? See, when a group of people came to cut down the forest, the people following Sundar Lal Bahuguna, what they have done, they hug the trees. Okay, they just like hug the tree. Okay, and started protecting them. So those people who came to cut down the forest area, they have to return back empty-handed. So now, during monsoon, every year the festival of Van Mahotsav is celebrated. Similarly, for celebrate the glory of our forest, every year in our country, India, Van Mahotsav are organized. On this, people plant trees in villages, towns, and cities. And during Van Mahotsav, people are encouraged to plant more and more trees. The government and many NGOs try to promote the importance of growing more trees. After forest, we have a variety of wildlife in India. Let's have a look here. As conservation of forest, as conservation of forest is essential for our national prosperity, so is the preservation of wildlife. Forests in India are full of wild animals. Some of these animals are rare, but a few people hunt wild animals for pleasure or for individual economic gains. Our rich wildlife need to be protected. Now see, if we need to protect our forests, similarly we need to protect our wildlife, because India is the home of several rare wildlife species. Okay, but you know what, few people hunt those rare species of animals for their own purpose, for maybe to entertain themselves, okay, or to signify that, see, I hunted this animal. Okay, now our rich wildlife needs to be protected. Our wildlife needs our protection. So what we have done to protect our rich wildlife, let's have a look. The government has set up a number of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries where animals live under conditions which favor their free growth. In these areas, nobody is allowed to cut down any tree or kill any or kill any animal. So our government established many national park and wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, in national park and wildlife sanctuary, the environment is similar with the forest. Here no human beings is allowed, because in wildlife and national park our wild animals roam freely. They have to feel like we are living in our own home. Sundarban has the largest wildlife sanctuary of India. So, which is the largest wildlife sanctuary of India? Sundarban. And Sundarban is present in West Bengal. The Royal Bengal tigers are the main inhabitant. So, Sundarban National Park is famous. Sundarban Wildlife Sanctuary is famous for your Royal Bengal tigers. The Kaziranga National Park in Assam is home to one-horned rhinoceros. If Sundarban Wildlife Sanctuary is famous for Royal Bengal tigers present located in West Bengal, similarly, one-horned rhinoceros, okay, one-horned rhinoceros, it is located, okay, one-horned rhinoceros is species found in Kaziranga National Park, okay, Kaziranga National Park is located at Assam. While the Gir forest in Gujarat provides shelters to lion, while the Gir forest, which is located in Gujarat, it is the home of Asiatic lions. Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand have tigers and leopards. Similarly, the Corbett National Park means Jim Corbett National Park, which is located in Uttarakhand. It is the home of several species of tiger as well as leopards. While Periyar Sanctuary in Kerala abound with herds of elephant. Similarly, Periyar Sanctuary, Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in Kerala, it is the home of elephants. Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh and Sariksha Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan are also famous tourist attraction. Similarly, Kanha National Park, okay, and Sariksha Wildlife Sanctuary presented in Rajasthan. They both act as a tourist attracting places. In Rajasthan, the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary is home to a large number of birds. Similarly, in Rajasthan, we also have a bird sanctuary where numerous number of birds are kept. Okay, the name of that bird sanctuary is Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. The Siberian cranes visit in during winters. Now, the cranes from Siberia, named as Siberian cranes, usually visit our country India during the season of winter. All of us must help to save the forest and wildlife because they are most precious natural resources. So, my dear student, let's take a pledge to conserve our forest and as well as our wildlife. Okay? So, let's have a look here. This is the map of our country, India. And here you can see there are various symbols. Means you can see this symbol shows your wildlife sanctuary. Okay? Red color shows your bird sanctuary. Okay? And blue colored star shows your national park. And orange color dot shows your biosphere reserves. Okay? So this is all about in this chapter. Okay, I hope you understand this chapter very well. Okay, now go thoroughly through this chapter and complete the exercise based on this chapter. Okay, I'm going to meet with you all in my next session with a new chapter. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Bye.